Divine Master and pray for the well-being of the whole humanity. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Stapakaya Cha Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Stapakaya Cha Dharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Avatara Varisthaya Ramakrishna Te Namah. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityor ma mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God Incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been discussing some of the teachings taken from Sri Ramakrishna, from the Gospel. Today's topic I have selected to speak on: be simple. You will become successful in spiritual life if you are simple. It's a great quality. Sri Ramakrishna says in the Gospel, one cannot realize God without the faith that knows no guile, the simple faith of a child. Unless one is guileless and broad-minded, one cannot have such faith. Unless a person is guileless, he doesn't receive the grace of God. So in order to receive God's grace, one has to be guileless. One has to be simple. One can easily realize God if one is free from guile. Sri Ramakrishna says again, in many places he has said about that spiritual instructions produces quick results in a guileless heart. Such a heart is like well-cultivated land from which all stones have been removed. No sooner is the seed sown than it germinates. The fruit also appears quickly. One cannot realize God without being guileless and liberal-minded. One can't be guileless and liberal-minded unless one is free from worldliness. Because the very fact a person is worldly indicates that he becomes conservative, he becomes selfish, and he becomes hypocrite, as it were, from the spiritual point of view. So Sri Ramakrishna says, you will attain that priceless treasure when your mind is free from stain. You can't make a pot without first carefully preparing the clay. The pot will crack if the clay continues have the particles of sand or stone. That's why the potter first prepares the clay by removing the sand and stones. The clay must be totally free from the foreign materials. Then the pot will be prepared nicely. In the same way, another example is given by Sri Ramakrishna. If a mirror is covered with dirt, it won't reflect one's face. In the same way, one cannot realize one's true self unless one's heart is pure. You will find guilelessness wherever God incarnates Himself as man. You will see that holy people who have attained illumination are always very simple. It is the simplicity that attracts the people towards them. See the personality of Sri Ramakrishna. See Holy Mother, personification of simplicity. Totally free from ego, totally free from guile. The Vedanta says that a man doesn't even desire to know God unless he has a pure mind. Even to aspire for spiritual life, you must have a pure mind. That means you must be guileless. So, a person who is always involving in the world cannot be guileless. He professes to love God, but he is attracted by worldly objects. He doesn't give God even a very small part of the love he feels for lust and gold. But he says that he loves God. Pointing to Mani Malik, Sri Ramakrishna tells, give up hypocrisy. That is, one should become simple, one should be guileless. That is the theme of today's topic. There's a great charm and power in simplicity. The simple can be quite strong. Take, for example, air, water, fire. These are called nature's elements. An element is a simple thing. But when these elements manifest themselves as cyclone, as flood, and conflagration, what stupendous havoc they cause. The atom consists of elementary particles like the proton, the neutron, and the electron. But when the atom bursts, crowded cities like Hiroshima and Nagasaki literally evaporate into space. What tremendous power is packed in these elementary particles. So, the simple is strong. The simple is beautiful. Nature performs all her marvels with the aid of simple things. For example, we take little rice or wheat, and then inside our body this gets converted miraculously into blood and bone, flesh and tissue. What an astonishing chemical change does nature bring about using simple items of food. So, simplicity is indeed the hallmark of a mastery. The master of an art functions simply. When we first learn swimming, our movements in the water are exaggerated. We throw out our hands and legs violently, making great splashes. But when we have become expert swimmers, we glide through the water, swift and smooth, without raising a ripple. So, simplicity has that charm. Simplicity means absence of artificiality. To be simple is to be natural. And the more simple and natural we are, the greater the impressions we make on others. Usually, people are ostentatious in the belief that thereby they can loom larger in the eyes of the world. But the truth is exactly the opposite. The world views ostentation with suspicion. If you speak and act ostentatiously, others will be on their guard in dealing with you. They think you are wearing a mask, and they do not know what is genuine beneath the mask. That uncertainty makes them hesitant and suspicious. But suppose there is a child. It fascinates everyone. Everybody trusts the child because the child is so simple. Its sincerity is crystal clear. That's why childlike innocence is praised so much. Lord Christ says, "Allow little children to come to me." Again he adds, "Unless you be like little children, you can't enter the kingdom of heaven." So, how very important it is for us to know the significance of being simple. Sri Ramakrishna says, the Paramahamsas keep near them a few young children, 5 or 6 years old. They allow such children to be near them. Attaining the state of a Paramahamsa, a person loves the company of children. It is true. You find wherever the genuine holy people are there, they love to be with children because they enjoy immensely the innocence, the guilelessness of the children. The reason is the children are not under the control of the gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. They are not being pulled by these gunas as ordinarily people are pulled. And another feature of the simplicity is that the child has no attachment. He makes a playhouse. If anyone touches it, he will jump about and cry. The next moment, the child himself will break it. This moment, he may be very attached to this cloth. The child says, "My daddy has given it to me. I won't part with it." But the next moment, you can cajole him away from it with a toy. He will go away with you, leaving the cloth behind. All great persons who have generated happiness in the world have been essentially simple. The simplicity may express itself in different ways. You find the great men give teachings in a very simple way. Simple but very effective. They use simple words that carry profound meaning. For example, if you read the Bible, if you read the Bhagavad Gita, if you read Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, you will find very few difficult words in them. When you ponder over the teachings contained therein, you are taken aback by the depths they reveal. As we read those simple teachings given by the great masters, by reading them again and again, we discover in each reading a new dimension of spiritual significance. So, therefore, we should cultivate simplicity. Thereby, the artificiality in our thinking and in our feeling will drop away. The mind will become cleaner, rid of superficialities, and then we will be experiencing immense bliss of God. So, if you are simple, then you feel joyful in your spiritual journey. If you are simple, you cherish real love towards God. If you are simple, your faith in God is strengthened. Being simple, you find how it generates enormous power. It expresses itself in the form of grace. It acts as a protecting force. And a person who is utterly simple feels wholeheartedly that God is protecting him in every way. Because he is established in that feeling, in that attitude, he is totally free from any kind of botherations. He is not worried over anything. He considers himself as very humble, innocent, guileless child of God. Sri Ramakrishna, the personification of simplicity. Simple in every respect. Simple in dress. See his clothing. He wears only one cloth. The same thing is used for lower and upper limbs of the body. Extremely simple. And words full of divine power because it is charged with simplicity. There is no trace of hypocrisy there. So you find, when you read Sri Ramakrishna, you feel so much drawn towards him. Of course, your heart must be pure enough. As I said earlier, even to desire God, you must be free from guile. So, Sri Ramakrishna always would give attention. He would concentrate to give instructions to the youngsters whose heart are not stained by the world. So he would instill in their hearts tremendous force, spiritual force, based on simplicity, based on guilelessness. So it shows how it is very important to be humble, to be most humble, humbler than the humblest. Then you become most simple, simpler than the simplest. Then you become very near to God. And God is very near to you, and you are very near to God. God is considered very simple. That's why God could be approached without any difficulty. He doesn't need any external show. He just sees your heart. If your heart is really aspiring for Him, that's all that is required. Everything else will be done by God to uplift you. We find in the great life of Sri Ramachandra how anybody in the kingdom could approach him without any difficulty. No security guard would obstruct a person who wants to meet Sri Rama. He was so easily accessible. There is no distinction between rich and poor. All were equally given attention by Sri Rama. So everybody would adore him. That is the spiritual quality. To be simple means to be pure. To be pure means to be free from worldly aspirations. Fill up the mind with spiritual ideas. Saturate the mind with the spiritual ideas. Concentrate upon the spiritual ideas. Then your life becomes very purposeful. And you feel a great fulfillment even to the last day of your life. You feel you have lived well. So, living well in the life means thinking of God. Thinking of God immensely retains your level of purity. That takes care of everything. So your future birth, you are determining by your present life. So if you are concentrating upon your goal, your spiritual goal, if you are struggling sincerely towards that, God is so gracious. He allows you to take up a birth suitable for continuing your spiritual practices in your next life. So life is a continuous process. We have to rise from one life to another life, not going down from life to life, but rising up from life to life. We must rise. Our life must be in the ascending order, not in the descending order. So, everything is in our hands. Hold on to God, then you can reshape your destiny. You can reshape your destiny. You can prepare your future life in whatever way you want to. In exactly the same way you will be able to have. So the basic quality required is to be simple and simple to the maximum. Page 624, Master said, "O Mother, I don't want the bliss of divine inebriation. I shall eat siddhi." To the devotees, he said, by siddhi I mean the attainment of the spiritual goal and not one of the 8 occult powers. About the occult powers, Sri Krishna said to Arjuna, "Friend, if you find anyone who has acquired even one of the 8 powers, then know for certain he will not realize me. For powers surely beget pride, and God cannot be realized if there is the slightest trace of pride." According to a certain school of thought, there are 4 classes of devotees: the pravartaka, the sadhaka, the siddha, and the siddha of the siddha. He who has just begun religious life is a pravartaka. Such a man puts his denominational marks on his body and forehead, wears a rosary around his neck, and scrupulously follows other outer conventions. The sadhaka has advanced further. His desire for outer show has become less, as I said in the class, ostentatious. He is no more giving any importance to external show. He longs for the realization of God and prays to Him sincerely. He repeats the name of God and calls on Him with a guileless heart. Now, whom should we call the siddha? He who has the absolute conviction that God exists and is a sole doer. He who has seen God. And who is the siddha of the siddha? He who has not merely seen God but has intimately talked with Him as Father, Son, or Beloved. It is one thing to believe beyond a doubt that fire exists in wood, but it is quite another to get the fire from the wood, cook rice with its help, appease one's hunger, and so be satisfied. These are 2 entirely different things. No one can put a limit to spiritual experience. If you refer to one experience, there is another beyond that, and still another, and so on. In an ecstatic mood referring to the Brahmos, Sri Ramakrishna said, they are Brahmagyanis, they believe in the formless deity. That's good. To the Brahmo devotees, Sri Ramakrishna said, be firm in one ideal, either in God with form or in the formless God. Then alone will you realize God, otherwise not. With firm and unwavering belief, The followers of God with form will realize Him, as will those who speak of Him as formless. You may eat a cake with icing either straight or sidewise. It will taste sweet either way. All laugh. But you must have firm conviction. You must pray to Him wholeheartedly. Do you know what the God of worldly people is like? It is like children saying to one another while at play, I swear by God. They have learnt the word from the quarrels of their aunts or grandmothers. Or it is like God to a dandy. The dandy, all spick and span, his lips red from chewing bitter leaf, walks in the garden, cane in one hand, and plucking the flower, exclaims to his friend, oh, what a beautiful flower God has made. But this feeling of a worldly person is momentary. It lasts as long as a drop of water in a red-hot frying pan. You must be firm in one ideal, dive deep, otherwise you can't get the germs at the bottom of the ocean. You can't pick up the gems if you only float on the surface. With these words, the Master sang in the sweet voice that had bewitched the hearts of devotees like Keshav. Dive deep, O mind, dive deep in the ocean of God's beauty. If you descend to the uttermost depths, there you will find the gem of love. The devotees felt as if they were in paradise itself. We shall close. One should not be hypocrite. One should not be having the attitude of cunningness or cheating. That is, a person talking one way and behaving in another way. There is no sincerity. And a person who is selfish and who is more and more involved in the worldly things and who doesn't cherish the spiritual ideas, all these come under that fact. A guileless means his heart is so pure, he is not pulled by any external forces for whatever reason. And a person is free from impurities. That's the meaning of being guileless. That he is so crystal clear in his mind. And as Sri Ramakrishna says, if the clay is free from sand particles and stone particles, then that clay is said to be pure, which is used for making a good pot. In the same way, if a person has to have the bliss of God, his heart must be clean and clear, free from all impurities such as selfishness, hatred, jealousy, and all such things. So when he is totally free from sins, totally free from impurities, he is said to be very simple. Simple means he has no likes and dislikes. His love is it is bewitching love, just like the attraction of the child. To give the example of guilelessness, they take this example of a child. If a child is there, let the child be born of any country. If you look at the child, you are simply charmed to see it and you go near and hug it. That's because of the power of the guilelessness. That's all. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its curve to knowledge of thyself. O self, drown deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name, that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then His meritoriousness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Oh, how I long for the day when instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor prevailing the betrayal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good pervade all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be free from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.